We did it, folks. The season has come to an end, but it's time for another Auburn post-game live stream where we break down the latest Auburn basketball men's game, this time in the final game, the season-ending game, the senior day game. Auburn wins 79-70 over the Tennessee Volunteers. We're going to talk about the stats, the storylines, all that stuff right here on this show. War Eagle, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, as always, Kyle Loomis, and we appreciate you hanging out today with us on this particular live stream where we dive into this particular game. A lot of good feelings. It's been a bit of a change of pace for the last couple of live streams that we've had where we're not very happy about a few things, and understandably so. Today, there are no problems like that. We're going to enjoy this one. Before we enjoy it, though, a couple of things that you could do for us to get us started off on the right note, and do it for the seniors. Smash the like button if you enjoy the type of content. The Facebook option, you can do that. Wherever you're watching this, smash the like button, the share button, all that kind of stuff for us. And the big thing right now, get your fingers ready. Go in there in the comment section, post where you're watching from, City, State, International. With a War Eagle, let me know. And how about this? Let's do this to start off this show today. Post in there, give me your favorite senior from this Auburn basketball team. That can be how we get this thing started tonight. So just start, giving them shout outs in the comment section right now. So let me give you some opening thoughts for this particular game. Obviously, most of our minds now shift to postseason. The regular season's done, and we're going to talk about that heavily today, but I want to kind of maybe at least for a little bit sit in this game, talk about it, some of the stats and things like that. But what we really want to give notice to is this team and this group of seniors that have really led us through an up and down, and at times at the back half here of the season, some down times in this year. And they're not done yet, obviously, but I think they're still not done yet in their potential that they could reach. I think this is a very special group, a group that has been here for quite some time. Obviously Jalen Williams, Alan Flanagan, Leor Berman, Zep Jasper now for a few seasons. You even got Stretch and Chandler Leopard in there as well. Just a special group that we're, want to give a shout out to and thank them for their service to this team. And thankfully, this isn't the last time we get to talk about them, because there will be more basketball to be had, the SEC tournament and otherwise. So just some opening thoughts from me on how happy I am. Let me see who is all here hanging out. We got Elliot, Neil, Unbeaten Lake, Brian's here, David on Facebook, Thomas. Good to see everybody out there. Everybody's given Neil says, Charles Barkley is my fave senior citizen. That's fair, I guess. I didn't specify that, so I guess that could definitely work in that question that I was asking from you. Trey's here as well. Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Flanagan is mine. Do you think he can make it in the NBA? That's a much bigger question for another day, Elliot. I think right now they all need to decide if they're going to take that. Well, not all of them. A few of them need to decide if they're going to take that extra year before that. I would just briefly answer that question. I would say at this moment, he could make it in the NBA, but I think his journey will be a little bit harder than, say, a Jabari Smith or a Walker Kessler or even a Sharif Cooper and things like that. But obviously, I think he has the potential. Jay, good to see you here. It's funny, we win one and the big crowd comes back. I'm just messing with y'all. I know it's tough to get on these things when we're not doing well, but happy to see all of y'all here. Unbeaten Lake says, I hope this is our peaking time. Well, to peak means that you're on a rise. So that means more than, in my mind, that means more than one game, a series, particularly of games that you've been doing really well in. Now, this could be the beginning of that peaking period where you go into the SEC tournament, have a nice little run there, and then carry that into the NCAA tournament. It would all be worth it, right? All the struggles of this SEC schedule, especially the back half of it, losing I'm trying to do math in my head, 6 of the last 8 or something like that. Do I have that right? I think that's about right. That would make it all worth it, wouldn't it? At least in my mind, it would. So what we'll do in this stream, like we normally do, we'll walk through some of the storylines of this game, some of the stats, and then obviously I know a lot of you guys want to almost go ahead and step right into the tournament. The big thing with the tournament, though, the SEC tournament, is that is not determined yet, right? There's still a lot to be figured out with that. Now, to me, if I understand it correctly, if I understand all of the nuances of it, we are sitting at about now with this win, depending on how everything else shakes out, the 6th seed, which would be huge. But we'll come back to that in a little bit and discuss that. If we can avoid the Texas A&M at all cost, that would be outstanding if we could do that. Devin's here. Good to see you. Giving a shout out to Leor Berman. Can we all just take a second and celebrate Leor Berman for just a little bit here? This kid has done nothing but bide his time, wait, and when the opportunity comes his way, take it as a 3-point shooter. But this is a guy that comes out there, is a pretty good defender in his own right. Doesn't become a liability out there on the floor in any facet of the game for the most part. And then does little crazy things like this, which, I mean, I know it wasn't the most emphatic dunk in all the entire world, but just great team basketball. Katie throwing the ball down to, I think it was Jalen. I think it was Jalen that threw it down to him for that dunk. Was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Love Leor. So happy the way his stock, so to speak, has risen this season and now has become such an, I would argue, integral part of this team. And every part, obviously, you know, the cliche is everybody is an integral part of this team, but Leor has really seen his stock rise for the Auburn Tigers. Yes, a much needed win. I would say this. A lot of you heard me talk about this for several live streams, but especially last live stream, I said, the clock has struck midnight. Don't let it go to 12:01. And they didn't. So we made it real close. I think there was still an opportunity for Auburn to get into the NCAA dance if they lost this game, but it would have been really, really rough if that would have been the scenario. I think outside of just an abysmal looking performance in game, whatever their first game will be of the SEC tournament, they're locked. I mean, this is 99.9% done at this point. So yes, it was a much needed win. I do agree with some of the commentators today that I don't think that this was a must win, but it sure made things a lot easier. And so that's why I think that we're all sitting on right now, just thankful to have that at this point. You don't know, it's hard to beat a team 3 straight times. You're talking about Texas A&M? Well, that'd be the same for Alabama too, if we played them on that side. I don't want any part of Texas A&M. I'm just be honest with you. I fear them much more than I do Alabama. Just going to be honest. Alabama's a great team. I just don't want any business of Texas A&M right now. Too good of a coach, too good of a surging team right now. This win, especially for the seniors, you list them all there, and you forgot Chandler. Don't forget Chandler Leopard. Means a ton to them to end their career on a high note. Absolutely. It really sucks when your last game in your particular arena is a loss. And so thankfully that hasn't happened very often for Auburn. The last couple of times it's been with Tennessee as our victims, right? Said, watch the first half, missed the second half, missed the game. I needed. Yeah, Rise Life, I think you needed this one. So I will hate that you didn't get to watch that one. So we're sorry, I got a little Facebook weirdo comment coming in there. I'm trying to handle right there. Okay. Elliot asked, everybody tell Elliot what we do here? I'm glad you found it a few weeks ago. We're here all the time. We do this for football. We do this for non-sports stuff. We will do this for some baseball things. Yes. Not a lot. We can't do them all, but yeah, we're here a lot. Dusty, good to see you. Proud of the team. They could have folded weeks ago, but kept fighting. And that's one of the big things that I hope you all take away from this team. You've heard me say this storyline a lot. The response of this team every time they faced a little bit of adversity. Now, I think when I say that, most people think, hey, they followed it up with a win, which they did a lot of the times early on when they faced a little bit of adversity, meaning a loss. But if you looked at most of the time how this team responded after a loss, even if it wasn't a win, they came back fighting, even if they lost the game. So I think that's very commendable. It shows a lot of the passion, the heart, the drive of this team and this leadership group that we have with Auburn right now in this senior group. So I'm very proud of them for that fact. Let's see here. It's all right, buddy. Just don't make me teach you not to act up. That's the only thing. Anyway, so let's see here. What else are you guys talking about on here? Any other particular thoughts or storylines from this game that we want to hit? We talked about, but we're going to hit the stats here in just a second. But I just wanted to kind of hit some overall storylines. We talked about Lior Berman's big thing. I just really liked the back and forth of this game and how Auburn didn't panic. They got down by, I think, 7 at one point. I think it was Tennessee's biggest lead, and really found themselves a way to stay within striking distance. Because this is what happens with this team, whether it's at home or on the road. They would allow a lead that got so big so quickly to maybe 15 points, and then they would have these runs, but then it would never kind of catch back up all the way, and then they'd build it back up, and then we'd catch back up and build it back all the way. They kept it within striking distance, used the advantage that you have at home, and won the game. Zep's defense in the final 3 minutes was crucial. And people that question Zep Jasper starting, that question his contributions to this team simply because he doesn't score the points, they don't know what they're talking about. Zep Jasper is him. And today, it was nice to see him get started so early by scoring a beautiful drive to the basket. He is a ferocious defender. I wish we could come up with a better name than Honey Badger. I know that's what he likes, so I'm not going to fight it. But, there's obviously another athlete out there that took that name too. I wish we could come out with something a little bit different for him. I have a zoology degree from Auburn, so I'll get on that for you guys. I'll find a new name for him. Not that he cares. Jalen should use his COVID year. I think if there is somebody that's going to use it, Jalen is the most likely. The way he came on this season and was asked to step up as a scorer and did so. Now, he didn't put up Jabari and Walker numbers, but, Jalen used to be putting up maybe 7-8 points a game, started putting up double digits. It's about all you can ask for him. Wouldn't you want him to do a little bit better, right? Took care of the ball. That was key. Yep. I'm just looking at that, Stu. That's pretty good. So it'll be funny here when we just walk through some of these stats. I think a lot of them are going to be very, very beneficial. Yahari, does this secure an NCAA bid? Does it? So I think the difference in what you're saying there, Yahari, which you've been our local pessimist lately, just being honest, is the fact that they had such a rough start, if I remember correctly, Texas A&M last year to their SEC schedule and came on strong at the end, but because of such a poor start. The great thing for Auburn is they had a pretty good, I would say above average non-conference schedule in results. I'm not saying that they played the best of the best, and a decent start in SEC. So when they hit that rough patch, people kind of are thinking back, well, everybody hits a rough patch. Look what they did the rest of the time. Look at their body of work. Look at how their opponents are performing now that they've beaten or lost to. And that's why you schedule things the way you do. So, I think they're in the NCAA tournament, barring a just abysmal performance in that first game they have for the SEC tournament. As long as you own it, that's all we ask. Just don't be so bad about it. Celebrating a dub in the sunny Plainsman Park. Clint is here. I would imagine it is a lovely day. See, these are the days that I'm jealous that Clint lives there and I don't. All right, let's see here. All right, let's do this. Let's walk through some of the stats, and then we'll get to some more. I know what y'all are more focused on right now is the next steps. What the next outlook for Auburn. We'll look at some of that very briefly here. Your stats on the day, your leading scorer. I did not realize he had this many points. 24, Wendell Green Jr. How nice is it to see those type of numbers from Wendell Green again? 24 points for the day, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 8 for 14 from the field in total, 50% from the three-point arc, 1 rebound, 4 assists. It's about as good. That's the Wendell that we saw at the beginning of the season, plus the points. Jalen Williams, 13 points. Janai Broom, 17 points. Alan Flanagan, 16 points. So here's the thing. If those 4 put up those type of numbers, and I'm aware Wendell's not going to have 24 points a night. I hope he doesn't, because I hope he has a little bit less and everybody has a little bit more, because that means others are contributing. But if those 4 are in double digits every single night, I feel good about someone else contributing at some point a little bit more than they normally do. We're going to be in good position. That's what I keep telling you guys when this team hasn't reached its potential yet. There's so much, that little bit that's still there hasn't been found. Will it be found in this tournament? Maybe so. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very happy with today's performance. Zep with 2 points, which was the ones he got at the very beginning of the game. Katie Johnson with 3. Trey Donaldson with 2. Leo Berman with his 2 on his dunk. I wish he had taken that 3-point shot. I know he would have gotten that one blocked too, but the house would have just come down for that. And then obviously Trey Orr got to play a lot in the absence of Dylan Cardwell. I hope he continues to heal. My guess, if his nursing an ankle injury myself right now, well, it's been a few weeks, but still you feel the effects of it. I can just speak to, and I'm sure many of you can as well, the time it takes to come back fully from those type of things. So hopefully we'll see him sooner rather than later, but I wouldn't expect him to be 100% for at least a game or two. So if we can make a nice little run in the SEC tournament without him, that'll be good, but I don't know how much of a factor he'll be in that. He's obviously got about 4 days to heal up, and maybe that can get him back on the floor. I don't know what the extent of his injury is, but I do miss seeing him out there because he is an energy monster, an energy beast. Does anybody want to make a, a pick for player of the game? Is it Wendell? Can you make a case for somebody else? If you've got a different opinion about who should be the player of the game, let me know there. Leighton asks, will I take 75% free throws, Kyle? Not up to your 80%, but 15 of 20 I will take all day with this team. I see what you're saying, Leighton. I agree with your line of thinking that given what the history of this team is, barely cracking 80% in like 2 or 3 games, should you accept 75? And my answer is no. 80%. That's it. They're free for a reason. Make your free throws. That's it. Look at Tennessee, 63% from the free throw line. If they make their free throws, they probably, because it was within 2 points with like 3 minutes left, they win the game. I'm just gonna be honest, because they have some deadly scores. And the other question that I think a lot of people should ask, but I don't think it should take away from this win or in any facet. Tennessee was missing Ziegler, their point guard. Oh goodness, Kyle. Sorry, guys. Their floor general tonight. Goodness gracious, what happened there? What would have happened had he played in this particular game? Maybe not. Here's a stat. We have now won 20 overall games, 10 SEC games in 5 of the last 6 seasons. Before BP, that only happened 5 times. And you don't have to remind me. I witnessed all that. And the other 108 seasons of program history. I guess I didn't witness all 108 seasons, but a good portion of them I did. Sorry, let me adjust this one more time. Didn't mean to do that. 11 of 6, we won the battle. Okay, there you go. You're answering his thing. Green is your MVP. Tennessee fans are mad at Rick Barnes. I don't know why. He has them competitive every single year when they were kind of in the doghouse, so to speak. I don't know why they would be super upset with him. Yes, so without their point guard, it doesn't count, right? That's how Kentucky operates. 6 turnovers against a top 3 defense that is great ball handling and movement. So a lot of people have questioned Auburn's guard play, and they mainly talk about that offensively. But when you come up against a team like Tennessee with a defense like they had, you look to those type of things as opposed to points. Now, Wendell had a great game. Allen had a great game. That in terms of guards, that's really what you were looking for and what you could ask for. But turnovers, 6 for the day for Auburn, 11 for Tennessee. That's below their average. And Auburn has traditionally been a decent team in terms of turnovers. Last game was not good, and that's why they lost the game. One of the reasons why they lost the game. But 6 turnovers on your home court floor with them not making their free throws. That's a good day at the office, my friend. That's a very good day at the office. And W, one of our Booster Club members, good to see you. So happy for the team. Great win. And it did not hurt my feelings that Alabama lost today. War Eagle from North Carolina. We got a lot of North Carolina people checking in today. They're mad because Tennessee has underachieved in the tournament every year. Now, that's a fair point. They have underachieved, except for that year that they had. What was his name? I guess they underachieved that year too. I was thinking of that really great team that they had. They went out in the second round. Yeah, so that would be an understanding. But I wouldn't say last year was underachieving. Yeah, we have a tendency to do really well or really bad in the tournament. We'll see what happens this year. Maybe it flip-flops back and forth. I don't know. Let's see here. Okay, let's talk through some more stats real quick, some team stats for you guys to be aware of. 47% for the field for Tennessee. They are a very good shooting team, but Auburn at home, not much better, some better. 49% on the day. 3-point percentage, 47% for Tennessee. They made 8 of 17. Auburn was 36%, much better than we normally do, but it was at home, so you understand that. Free throws, we've already talked about, 63% for Tennessee, 75% for Auburn. So back to Leighton, who asked me if I'm okay with that, but I don't accept that as meeting the goal. The goal is 80%. You make 80% of your free throws most of the time, you're in a good position to win. We talked about turnovers, points off of turnovers, 21. Auburn had 21 points off of 11 turnovers that Tennessee had. Auburn, in contrast, had 6 turnovers. Tennessee only got 4 off of that. Not only did you protect the ball, but you limited the damage when you gave up a turnover. That's crucial. Absolutely crucial. Yeah, we lost those. So it's always funny, like when we talk about stats and trying to figure out, does it tell the story of the game? It doesn't always do that. It can give you kind of an idea, but there's usually those big 3 we talk about, right? Free throws, rebounding, and turnovers. Auburn wins 2 out of the 3. So they win the battle of the big 3, in my opinion. But, wasn't that big of a difference in total rebounds, 35-29 in Tennessee's favor. Pretty close enough that it wasn't that much of a disparity today. To me, the thing that sticks out to me, honestly, right now, as we're walking through this, is that points off of turnovers. Auburn 21, Tennessee 4. Their bench was much more effective than ours, but that's not really that big of a, we know our scores are the starters. If that can change a little bit, that will help us very much in the tournament. Points in the paint, Auburn wins that by a small margin. Fast break points, Auburn 15, Tennessee 0. Tennessee wanted to slow the ball down. They clearly did. It just did not help them. And then obviously in some defensive categories, Auburn was favored, steals, blocks, all those things, and pretty even in assist. 16 for Tennessee, 18 for Auburn. So when you look up and down this thing, a lot of even, a lot of the case should have been that this goes down to the wire. And technically it did, but it got into the whole free throw exchange situation there. But to me, that big stat that sticks out is points off of turnovers, 4 for Tennessee, 21 for Auburn. It's really good. Really good. All right. If there is another storyline, another stat or just something from this game that you want to mention, make sure you drop that in. I'm going to give you a couple of reminders, and then we'll maybe talk for a few minutes here about what's next, and then we'll go forward. But what's next here on the E2C Network, by the way, you can already find it on the channel tomorrow night, 9 Eastern time, the Auburn Experience podcast, where we talk sports, culture, and family. Make sure you join us there. You can obviously find that link already available on the channel. And just as a reminder, especially for those of you who are regular, make sure you go ahead and like it. And there's even a little button you can hit when you go to that page here on the YouTube channel to send you a reminder that we're live. Don't miss out on the opportunity to hang out with us there. Also, the Auburn Family live stream, it'll be this Wednesday. We won't have to miss many more after this point. It will be during the baseball game, but we're going to power through that regardless. Check out the links in the description, ways that you can help support our content. You can be a subscriber to be part of that giveaway, channel membership program, booster club program. All of those start at $1 a month. So help us out if you can. But the biggest thing you can do to help us out, smash the like button. It's a huge help to us. And tell a friend. Invite them to be here and be part of our little family within the Auburn family. Is this the score right now? Is that the final? that's about what I expected from that game. Arkansas has underperformed this year, and I would say Auburn maybe a little bit too, but Kentucky is surging right now. Here's the thing: I don't want any part of Kentucky, and I don't want any part of Texas A&M in this tournament right now. Everybody else, I'm okay with. There's good teams that wouldn't be fun to face again, but I do not want any part of Texas A&M and Kentucky right now. Whew, man, just they are two teams that are just on the right trajectory where you want to be right now. Can they maintain it? I don't know, but right now it looks good. And I do agree it will be a very fun SEC tournament. Thank you, Brian. The Anders Carlson episode for the Auburn Experience podcast. I would, I don't know if Austin's watching, but if he sees that, he's probably mad you took that and reminded him of it. He's probably got a list that he's drawing out right now. Let's see here. It's a final. Okay, thank you for that Kentucky Arkansas score. Texas A&M are foul merchants. They consistently get 20 to 25 free throws a game, and they sure know how to draw fouls. Yeah, whether we agree with it or not, how those fouls are called or anything, it just speaks to what I talk about a lot here. Free throws win games. Now, there's much more that goes into a basketball game, but usually when you look at who wins basketball games, and not just a basketball game, but who is consistent, they are doing a fairly consistent job of winning the turnover battle, of winning the rebounding battle, and winning the free throw battle. If you do those three things, you have a really good shot to win the game. I would argue 75% chance that you're going to win the game if you win all three of those categories. If you win two of them, you're going to have a 50% chance to win the game, but obviously margins of those particular stats can determine things. But I usually feel good about a team's chance if they can win those three things. Heard they favor the teams. Yeah, my understanding right now is that we will be a 6th seed in the SEC tournament. But there's still some basketball to be played today. So let's look at it real quick. And here's my hope. I don't want to promise you guys anything, but I'd like to do either a video or a live stream for you guys once it's finalized today. I'm not saying that will come today, but maybe tomorrow afternoon or something like that. It'll just depend on what I've got going on, but I do want to do a little bit of a preview of the SEC tournament. I just don't know what that shape will take in right now. Let's look at the bracket real quick. I'm going to pull it up here and see what it kind of looks like at this point. Stand by, folks. Stand by, folks. Brewer says we're cutting the nets. What are we cutting the nets for? Don't think we're cutting the nets today. All right, it's loading. Just give it a second here, folks. All right, so if we are the 6th seed, means that we would play in game 6 of the bracket, which would be 8 p.m. I'm assuming this is Central Time. I guess it may be Central Time on the SEC network against the game 2 winner, which would be the 11 seed or the 14 seed. I personally like that a lot. There was a graphic going around that kind of showed the projected bracket right now. And I'm trying to kind of do this on the fly and find it. If anybody else has a look at that, please let me know. There you go. Devin's clarified for everybody. We are 7 right now. If Missouri loses, then we move to the 6th seed. So everybody root against Missouri. Let's see. Yeah, obviously I was thinking about that too today. Julian Phillips not coming to Auburn, and would have been nice, but you kind of understand why he went there. We were kind of full up, and I think it's easy to make that comparison and say, we kind of missed him because Yoan's not yet lived up to the potential we thought was there, but there's still time. There is still time. All right, here's a projected. I think I've got this one now, but this one's a little bit old too. Yeah, this was updated yesterday. So yeah, if I'm looking at this projected one correctly, let's just say that Missouri loses and we get the 6th seed, which means we would play the winner of the Georgia Bulldogs and the LSU Tigers. Either one I would feel good about playing. which would mean then I think you would go on to play the winner of the 3-7. No, I'm trying to do all the math in my head. You would play the winner of the 2-7 matchup, which would probably be in that instance. I'm trying to do all this in my head and it's not working out. It's making for a terrible show. Anyway, you kind of get the picture here. Yeah, Texas and Oklahoma being added to the SEC basketball ranks will be a lot of fun to watch. All right, folks. Well, I think that's going to do it for our post-game live show. A good crowd, a good opportunity to feel good about Auburn basketball. I know it's not been fun the last few live streams. I'll give you an idea of what to look for coming forward for like basketball content. We will do a post-game show for every SEC tournament game that happens for Auburn, however long that goes. That is my plan at this moment. Now, I will probably be in Auburn next weekend, so that might be a little tricky depending on what I'm getting into at that point with baseball and things like that, but we will figure out how to make that happen. And obviously, we'll do some sort of preview for it, some sort of preview for the tournament. So just stay tuned for the channel. Tell a friend, invite them to come in because we got a lot of content for basketball. March Madness is here, folks. I'm so excited. It's my favorite sports time of year. Love college football. It is always going to be my favorite sport, but the best weekend in college football is very close. Or, excuse me, college basketball is very close. So excited for that and so excited that Auburn will factor into this equation. Thank you guys so much for being here, hanging out with us. Jay, yes, see you on Thursday. Hopefully we'll see you Wednesday as well on our call-in show. Don't miss that too. But until I talk to you guys again, it's been great. Until then, War Eagle.